You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Hey guys, it's Rohan here from the Angry Marks Rewind podcast with your NXT report for Wednesday, August 8th, 2018. We picked up, starting from last week, where Aleister Black laid out Johnny Gargano and blaming him for the loss of the NXT title, which set up the main event for this week. The show starts with a recap of Ciampa 2 weeks ago winning the title from Aleister Black on NXT TV. Gargano was then shown part of the backstage interview, basically confirming that the reason that Ciampa is the champ is it was his fault for the interference. The show does their little opening sequence, and I think they've changed the opening credits, and the ending of the opening credits ends with Ciampa with this nice big smile, holding the belt so proudly. It looked really cool. Our first match was a newcomer, Amber Nova, taking on Nicki Cross. Nova has just an incredible physique. She's a nice-looking girl. She's got abs for days, and apparently she's named after a car, because I guess the announcers talked about that her dad was a mechanic, apparently. She had a stint with Impact last winter for a couple of months. So she's taking on Nicki Cross. Nicki comes to the ring doing her best Ultimate Warrior impression before she takes off her ring gear. She's running off all the ropes. She's pounding on her own face. She's whipping her jacket all over the place, just being crazy. The crowd starts to chant, "Nicki's gonna kill you." And as it turns out, she did. Nicki starts the match by just folding Nova up with a back suplex. Nova gets them out, tries some grounded and pound. This converts over to a straight jacket hold. Nicki hulks up by scratching herself, and she's doing a lot of yelling. Nicki hits a high cross off the top. There's more yelling. Then Nicki hits the twisting fisherman neck breaker for the win at 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Really quick match here. Amber Nova definitely has the look that I think WWE typically likes to hitch their wagon to. She's tall. She's very athletic. She's very good looking. So I'm interested to see what they do with her. We get a tease that we're going to have an interview. I don't know if it's an interview segment, but it is a summit between Velveteen Dream and EC3. And they go to commercial break with the tease of Velveteen Dream just sitting by the pool, checking out his phone, looking at Twitter. Probably going to go to Twitter and to follow at Rohan Unruh. I mean, because that's what I would do. And that's what you should do, too. We go back to, we come back from break. We get a Keith Lee promo of him in the Performance Center, giving an inspirational speech. He invites us to, of course, bask in his glory. I think it's pretty impressive that they're fast-tracking him to TV already, and I think it shows that they have a lot of faith in him. So we're going to see him a little bit later on in the show. We get the one and only Ricochet. He's about to come down the aisle. His music hits, but we see a silhouette of 4 individuals, and it's the Undisputed Era. They've laid out Ricochet. He's lying dead on the ramp. He's Adam Cole then grabs the mic, cuts a promo to an unconscious Ricochet, basically saying that he's not a coward, and after Brooklyn, he will be the one and only North American champ. They cut to the announcers, and the announcers just keep moving on. They're not concerned with Ricochet at all. We get Vanessa Bourne warming up in the hallway, and she's wearing some black leathery S&M type gear. I don't know if this is what she always wears, but this is the first time I've seen her, so just shows how much I've been following NXT lately. So a camera rushes up to her, and she's interviewed by some geek who isn't mic'd properly. She's taking on Tainara Conti for the last spot in the Mae Young Classic, and such great investigative journalism here by this camera guy intern who basically just says, "What's your plan?" And Vanessa Bourne says her plan is to win. The world will get what it deserves, which is her in the Mae Young Classic. She then shoos away the camera guy, and then it pans away slowly. It's actually quite creepy, and so we'll see her later on. We have Cassius Ohno taking on Adrian Jawad, Joude. So apparently he's from Rio de Janeiro. Apparently he's a jiu-jitsu black belt. He comes to the ring dressed like Ryu from Street Fighter, complete with the white gi pants, the white sleeveless gi top, and a black belt. So not much to this match. This match only went 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Announcers are hinting at the fact that Cassius was very frustrated with his position in the company. They haven't done a whole lot with him. Adrian starts doing some katas and some, I guess, Brazilian dancing. Adrian he's actually quite powerful. He takes down Cassius early with a back suplex, headlock takeover, fireman's carry. Cassius hits a big forearm then hits a back senton, running kick in the corner. Adrian tries a few times to do a crotch lift suplex. He gets a few elbows in, but he eventually does hit the suplex. He then runs right into another forearm. And Cassius hits the KO Dream Crusher forearm to the back of the head. Like I said, 2 minutes, 53 seconds. I really feel Cassius could use a heel turn at this point. I don't know if they have any plans for him or if he's just kind of treading water. We get the big summit. Velveteen Dream is poolside, and looks like he's got a pretty nice place. He must be doing pretty well for himself. EC3 casually walks up to the Dream, and Dream invites him to have a seat in the conveniently placed pool lounge chair. So EC3 sits down, gets comfortable, and right at that moment, Dream decides, hey, let's get up and go for a walk. So, dude just got comfortable. Now you're going to make him go for a walk. And when they say walk, they mean take 10 steps to the side of the pool. They start jibber-jabbering back and forth, saying, who's going to win at TakeOver. EC3 says that their match is bigger than life. I find that hard to believe. Dream accuses EC3 of disrespecting him. Dream then drops his sunglasses, and EC3, being the nice gentleman that he is, offers to pick them up. He bends down to pick up the glasses, but he fakes Dream out, picks him up in a fireman's carry, and tosses him in the pool. So, as Dream is panicking, and my cat's trying to get my attention here, so Dream is panicking. EC3 reminds him that the pool's only 3 feet deep. So he gets up, just kind of walks away. We get Marcel Bartel making I don't know if this is his TV debut or not. He's a uber skinny white guy from Germany. He comes out to fantastic heel symphony music. He's taken on also debuting Keith Lee. So I smell a pretty quick squash here. And Lee looks like he's like the happiest dude on earth. The very first shot of the match is a giant forearm by Lee that drops Marcel. Marcel. I called him Martel. Marcel comes back with a couple throat shots. Keith Lee has a super impressive leapfrog and dropkick. If you've seen him in, he's competed in Ring of Honor, he's competed in PWG. This guy's got lots of agility. He reminds me a lot of Bam Bam Bigelow back in the day. I think Barthel got a little bit too much in this. This was supposed to be a showcase for Keith Lee. Lee hits a pretty big pounce, so Barthel takes a nice big high bump for that. This finisher is a fireman's carry into what looks like a combination attitude adjustment / power slam / jackhammer. And Keith Lee gets the win at 4 minutes and 38 seconds. We got Tainara Conti walking down the halls, getting ready for her match. She looks much better in a white gi than Adrian Jouade. We get a segment with the Street Profits. They're interviewing each other just in front of a generic ATM. And they're doing a promo on the Mighty. They're doing some random Australian accents. These two teams will meet next week. Coming up, we have a Mae Young qualifying match. Vanessa Bourne looks like she could be the daughter of Sensational Sherry. She looks like she's a spitting image of her. And she also has some pretty dope music, so I gotta find out what she uses for that and throw that on the iPod. She also dresses like Sherry did too, complete with the black garter belts. And so they're two heels. They're both fighting for the same spot. Conti comes to the ring, holds up her jiu-jitsu black belt like it's some sort of championship. Very quick match here again. Bourne immediately takes Conti down, which completely negates her jiu-jitsu. Conti with a nice judo throw. Sensational Sherry Jr. runs Conti into the corner. They start screaming at each other that each of them deserve to be in the Mae Young Classic. Bourne has a north-south choke, which was identified by Morrow. So if Conti is a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, she should be able to, easily escape out of this. Bourne switches to a reverse body scissors. Conti bridges back for a 2. Lots of screaming in this match. Conti soccer kicks Bourne right in the... It almost looked like it was right in the face, but upon further investigation, it was just the shoulder, so it didn't look as bad. Conti hits a nice belly-to-belly, and the finish comes. Bourne is on the ground. Conti is trying for some sort of leg lock, but Bourne fires up and slaps her. This gets... Bourne goes for a crucifix, but Conti turns it into this awkward-looking spinning slam, and she gets the win at 4 minutes and 3 seconds. So Tainara Conti is in the Mae Young Classic. She's crying because she's so happy, and she's just so excited that she gets to be eliminated in the first round. We get a recap of Shayna Baszler attacking Kairi Sane, which is setting up their match for TakeOver. Get an announcement. Next week, we've got Kairi Sane versus Aaliyah, and Tyler Bate taking on Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Era. They show Cain Velasquez in the crowd, former UFC champ. Apparently he's been doing some work at the Performance Center. I'm not really sure where his future lies. His last fight was in June 2015. Apparently he had some bone spurs in his back, and he had his application to get a fighting license in Nevada was denied by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. So apparently he's been training with Norman Smiley, and he's also been attending some DDP yoga sessions. So don't be surprised if we see someone from the UFC make the jump to NXT in the near future. That takes us to our main event of the day. Aleister Black taking on Johnny Gargano. They didn't indicate if this was any sort of number one contenders match, but it's a very fast start to begin with. Lots of back leg kicks by Black. Johnny with lots of forearms. Gargano kick sends Black to the outside. Gargano with a follow-up tope. Throws Black back into the corner. They exchange some shots back and forth. Gargano ends up on the outside. He attempts the big slingshot spear, but he gets a knee right in the face. Both guys go back and forth again. There's a double clothesline. 2 minutes and 31 seconds in, Ciampa runs in, attacks both guys. All three guys are now brawling with each other. The ref throws the fight out. The crowd is already chanting triple threat, so they were foreshadowing, or maybe they already read the spoilers. They went into the future, read the spoilers, knew it was going to be a triple threat, and here we are. Gargano is attacking Ciampa on the floor. He hits a rolling dive, and Gargano lands dangerously close to the edge of the stairs. That could have hurt him pretty bad. Refs come out, do a big pull apart. Crowd is chanting, "Let them fight." Finally, after about 5 minutes of brawling, Commissioner or GM William Regal comes out to restore order, and he says he's not going to try and control this. He's not going to try and prevent it, but he will just allow it to happen. So he makes the title match at TakeOver Brooklyn a three-way. Ciampa is not very happy, as is expected. Johnny is absolutely livid. He is so excited, and Aleister seems fairly indifferent. So that is your title match for Saturday the 18th of August? 17th. Whatever, I don't know, a week and a half. So that's your NXT report. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.